I'm making this video because there's a lot of things about rapper Drake that I don't like, but there's also a lot of creepiness around him, and that's kind of the main reason that I'm not a fan. Now, um, 2 years ago in 2018, uh, on a red carpet interview, one of the stars of Netflix's Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown, was giving an interview at the time, and turns out she has a relationship with Drake. And again, you may have seen this.
What about your relationship with Drake? Tell me about your friendship. How did this all come about?
I love him. I met him in Australia, and he's honestly so fantastic and a great friend and a great role model. You know, we just texted each other the other day, and he was like, "I miss you so much." I was like, "I miss you more." He's coming to Atlanta, so I'm definitely gonna go and see him. I'm so excited. Yeah.
You and Drake? That's awesome. That's awesome.
What advice does he give you? Like, what does he say?
About boys, he helps me.
What?
Yeah. He's great. He's wonderful. I love
What's
him.
his advice with boys?
You know, that stays in the text messages.
This is like...
Now, that's pretty creepy. Almost sounds like he's grooming an underage girl. But, perhaps he's just seeing a young person trying to navigate the pitfalls of the industry, having been a young actor himself. Maybe he's just concerned about her, not getting taken advantage of. Okay, that was 2018. But then fast forward about a year or so, and you've got this story in which turns out he's been messaging Billie Eilish as well. Now, she was 17 at the time. So again, underage girl. Now, she reported this to Vanity Fair towards the end of 2019. And you can see on the article here that she's trying to defend her relationship with Drake, claiming everybody's so sensitive, and that their relationship is just one based off mutual respect as artists. Okay, I'm not a musician. I don't have peers like that. I don't understand what it is to be in that position. But again, he's with an underage girl. And then there's another incident from about a decade ago. I don't hear it mentioned too much. I don't know how many people know about it. It's when he brought an underage fan up on stage. He can't go to jail yet. So he's making a joke about going to jail for sex with underage kids. Because this girl is 17, and legally she's still a child, whether you agree with that or not. Now, to be fair to Drake in this situation, pulling a fan out of the crowd on a stage as part of a performance, there's no way for him to have known ahead of time that she was 17 years old. I know that other artists do similar stuff. I believe Madonna and Britney Spears both pull fans out of the crowd and dance with them. Now, we've got 3 instances here of Drake being involved with underage girls. Could be purely coincidence, but it's more likely a disturbing pattern that we see happening here. Now, there's an interesting Instagram post he made from 2015, And the post simply says, "Something good in the air today. A lot of good things happening at once, but this one means the most. Been waiting for 11 months. Baka finally home." And then that shows a picture of some dude. So at the OVO store or whatever. Now, Baka not nice. He's a close friend of Drake's, longtime friend of Drake's. He was part of his entourage, doing security and stuff like that. So I can respect the fact that maybe Drake wants to toss his friend a job, help him out. But Baka has a kind of sordid history with the law. Now, it all started back in 2007. Seems like a bizarre case. There was a Jamaican-born man who immigrated to Canada, became a Canadian citizen, and he was arrested for firearms charges. I believe he shot some guy while trying to get fast food. Yeah. In 1999, Demetrius was convicted of pumping 3 bullets into a man who tried to calm him down after Demetrius demanded to be at the front of a takeout line at a West Indian restaurant. Really? You shot a guy because he wanted Indian food? That must have been some fresh naan bread or something. Anyways, during the whole process of this man was sentenced to jail for, I think, 5 years. And then afterwards, when he was paroled, they deported him. They deported him back to Jamaica. Now, at some point, he was able to re-enter the country. He just kind of snuck in. Now, during the investigation, a couple of years, more than a few years, in the early 2000s, Toronto had a serious problem with gun violence, a lot of firearms-related fatalities, especially during the summertime. I guess, temperature rises, heats are flaring, people get offended at the slightest thing, and violence comes easily. We had a couple years where they branded it the summer of the gun. Anyways, during one of these routine sweeps where they were trying to, get more guns off the street and get rid of wanted criminals, like this Demetrius guy who snuck into the country, they rounded up Baka Not Nice and some other people. Now, Baka Not Nice was remanded into custody with his very first weapons charge. His birth name, Travis Savory, is what it's listed on the conviction charge. Now, it wouldn't be his first one. About 6 years after that weapons charge, he was arrested with 3 other men in the armed robbery of a wild water kingdom. Now, for those of you who don't have one of these in your area, it's pretty much your standard water park. They got pools, they got lazy rivers, big slides, all that crap. So, again, him and 3 other men, armed robbery at water park. There's a lot of kids around, very, very dumb idea. Now, this landed him on some serious probation because of this being his second offense with the weapon. Now, he had served, I think, 10 years while waiting. He had served 10 years in custody, and because he had time served, he was paroled after a few months. Now, this is where probably the most disturbing thing about him comes in. So, a couple years after that, in 2015, we have a story where this guy, he gets arrested again, but this time it's for domestic violence. It says he pleaded guilty to assaulting a 22-year-old Toronto woman, failing to comply with his recognizance conditions for unrelated Brampton's firearm charges. the Brampton's firearm charges, yeah, that's when him and his friends robbed the kiddie water park. Now, the story behind this arrest in 2015 is that his live-in girlfriend had woken him up because he had put some French fries in the oven and they had started to burn. I guess he didn't like being woken up like that, and he kicked the crap out of her. Now, it turns out, once again, the guy had a weapon on him, so there's another weapons charge. He, obviously, there's domestic violence charges on that. And kind of most disgustingly is a human trafficking charge, because this was his girlfriend, but he was essentially making her go out and prostitute herself and then taking all her money. I believe they said he also took her bank cards and drained all her accounts. And then, he used the threat of violence to keep her complacent and from leaving or getting help. Now, that's a pretty crappy human being. But if you want to know why Baka is out already, it's because of what we see here. That the alleged victim of the human trafficking and prostitution charges spoke to police and indicated she didn't want to testify at the proceedings. She said she hasn't had contact with the accused and wasn't pressured to not testify. Okay, maybe. The woman has since moved and hadn't informed the police of her new address. She hadn't been subpoenaed to testify because police couldn't locate her. I mean, that's pretty suspicious. I don't know. The whole thing has a weird stink on it. Anyways, I'm wondering what you guys think, if this is all just a strange coincidence, or if it's a larger sign that Drake, I don't know if I'd say corrupt, but he certainly doesn't have any kind of morals or values. Because the way that I was raised is that you're judged by the company you keep. If you hang around with dirtbags and criminals, that's what people think of you. That's what you start to become yourself. So, I respect that he wants to help his friends out, but, at some point you have to be honest with them and say, look, this is not appropriate behavior. So yeah, if you made it to the end of this video, thanks for watching.